Okay, quick review of today. Some of the big things I wanted you to be thinking about. Digital communication, cabe digital. Things we're going to be looking at: data, information, knowledge, understanding. We're going to talk about that next week. Semantics and mathematics. What I want you to be thinking about is make sure you get onto Blackboard, which has all the things that you're going to need for the course. There's also a Weebly site which I have created for this course. I'll show you more later on. But I want you to think about two things. One, communication. That's a nice slow turn. The idea that it's not just a message that you're going to compose perfectly and send to a target audience. It's a lot more complicated than that. This photograph is just one example of how many different ways there are to read that message. Communication is, as it's going back to Anglo-Normans, it's about contact. It's about having something common with another person. It's about joining together to do business. It's that linking up of people. Right? The reason why America was created by the telegraph is because it allowed people to start talking to each other in a really fluent way. The UK was united by the trains system in a way that nothing else had ever done before. France, its telegraph system was famous, the telegraph being a bunch of electric telegraph, but windmills, basically. Okay, so this is a diagram. We didn't look at a class, but basically A and B are, A could be you and B is me. A could be North United States, B could be the UK, A could be the local film club, B could be the local Quidditch club. Basically, each of those two groups knows a lot of stuff. They have all sorts of information. That's what all that yellow is, or all that blue is. It's all the stuff that the B people know. And the yellow is all the stuff the A people know. Every time you communicate, you build up this space in between, the space of communication. That link between them is the common knowledge, the way they can communicate, the shared rules and logic and understanding of the world. Communication is largely about building that thing up. All right? And that can be a way of A taking over space from B, or B taking over space from A and dominating. Or it can be more of a communal thing where they both are working together. But it is that building up of a space of common things that we can talk about. And of course, the Babelfish is an example of why that can be good or bad. So that's the one thing. The other thing is about digital information. What is digital? We'll talk more about what information is. The resolution of uncertainty. Claude Shannon is going to become very important to us. But digital it comes from the word digit, and it's the breaking down of individual items, of continuous world, into bits that you can control. So letters of the alphabet instead of the word cat, for instance, means you can combine and recombine all those letters in different ways. None of those letters is an exact duplication. In the digital era that we're living in now, we've been able to advance that using electronics, and we'll talk more later on about the idea of the binary digit, the bit, the yes and no, those light bulbs I mentioned before. But that is the key to it, being able to break down reality into pieces, whether it's a photograph into pieces, whether it's sound into pieces, whether it's your life into pieces, whether it's your society into pieces, and recombining them in lots of interesting ways. Here's a video that wasn't downloading very quickly in the class, but look at the way it's taking a physical shape, the V shape in this case, and turning that into binary elements that can be replayed as sound in this case. So this class, digital, is really much that level of possibility. There's another video in this presentation which you can watch. I'd recommend it. It's a film someone made called Sight. It's not Google Glass, but it's looking at the potential of digitizing our world and taking that through the lens, metaphorically speaking, of games, and how that's one of the issues that we're going to be looking at. So look forward to working with you all this semester, and see you at the workshops.